Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
He started to ask me, well, when can we meet up? You want to meet up downtown or at my house? I said, you can come to my place, that's fine. So sure enough, that Friday they showed up at my place, which was about a week ago or so, and 3 officers, 2 cruisers showed up and they issued me 3 tickets. And again, I said to him, are you aware that we're an exemption, that we're a religious outdoor soup kitchen and that warrants an exemption? And he says, yeah, I looked into it. Restrictions, exemptions cite that, religious soup kitchens, that was an exemption as an essential service.
You can argue that in court. That's
okay. Were you guys aware of that though?
I've read the website and stuff.
So I'm just curious, despite being aware of that, that still warrants a ticket being issued?
Yes.
Keean Bexte for Rebel News on the steps of Mayor Naheed Nenshi's City Hall here in Calgary. Now, why am I here? Well, it's because our dear mayor in this city has an obsession with harassing Christian leaders, Christian preachers in this city, especially ones that are feeding the homeless. I guess Nenshi just wants them to starve. See, the homeless people that come to street churches in downtown Calgary are individuals who can't go to a homeless shelter. Now, if you've never been homeless in your life or never volunteered at a homeless shelter, you might not know this. But if these homeless individuals are suffering from addiction, it precludes them from entering these buildings. If they're drunk, if they're intoxicated, they are just simply left out in the cold. Mayor Naheed Nenshi certainly isn't bringing them into his home. These street preachers, though, they are different. They're actually feeding the people that nobody else will. And Nenshi is vindictively ticketing them for that. Derek Reimer, a preacher at a street church here in Calgary, well, he actually just got ticketed. 3 tickets from the Calgary Police Service for feeding the homeless, just days before Jason Kenney re-allowed gatherings of 10 people. It's not clear if these tickets are going to be thrown out now or what's going to happen. And that's exactly why I met him here in front of Nenshi's office, so that we could talk about exactly what happened and why he thinks it did. So could you just generally say what happened that day when you were given a ticket?
Yeah, absolutely. We're just over here at this corner at Olympic Plaza, which we typically are Friday nights. And, all of a sudden bylaw officers rolled up, and guys that we're familiar with because we're out here all the time, and started taking pictures of my vehicle, taking pictures of the outreach. And I just asked, officer, is there a problem? And he didn't really say too much, and I inquired further, just like, is somebody getting a ticket, or are you issuing out some tickets? And he said, yeah, there's a good chance. And I just said to him, you know what? Well, if you are issuing out tickets, then just give me those tickets. I'm the leader, I'm the organizer. These volunteers and these people are only here because I'm setting it up, and I don't want that to go to anybody else as being the founder of this ministry. So he goes, okay, well, thank you. And we went on to talk to him about that. We looked up on the Alberta website about exemptions and restrictions that, religious soup kitchens was an essential service. That was an exemption. That's what it warranted. And I said, are you aware of this? And he goes, well, we'll look into it. So we're trying to show him on the website. There's numerous people recording, as I was, and he wasn't really interested in seeing it then. So he just kind of ignored us and kept doing what he was doing, him and his partner, and they left. So nothing had happened for quite some time, probably 2 or 3 weeks. And then I saw him actually over here at this corner right before a rally after we had done street church. And I said to him, well, I guess I'm not getting a ticket. So what happened? Not that I want one, but I just, hey, we have a healthy dialogue. We see these guys all the time. He goes, oh, well, it's coming yet. I'm like, well, what's taking so long? He's like, well, we've just been backed up. I said, oh, okay. And then he started to ask me, well, when can we meet up? You want to meet up downtown or at my house? I said, you can come to my place. That's fine. So sure enough, that Friday they showed up at my place, which was about a week ago or so. And 3 officers, 2 cruisers showed up and they issued me 3 tickets. And again, I said to him, are you aware that we're an exemption, that we're a religious outdoor soup kitchen and that warrants an exemption? And he says, yeah, I looked into it. I said, so does that still mean that you give us a ticket? You have grounds to give us a ticket? And he says, yes. And he proceeds to give me that ticket and 2 other tickets. We looked up on the Alberta restrictions, exemptions site that, religious soup kitchens, that was an exemption as an essential service.
You can argue that in court. That's
okay. Were you guys aware of that though?
I've read the website and stuff.
So I'm just curious, despite being aware of that, that still warrants a ticket being issued?
Yes.
And I just preached the gospel to him. I pray for those officers. I love them. And as I do all people, and the message of Jesus Christ isn't just for the homeless or the middle class, it's the officers, all classes of people. So, yeah.
What was the amount of the ticket, and what was the...
It was $1,200 for one, $200 for another, and $250 for the third ticket.
Now, just yesterday, actually, Jason Kenney announced that public gatherings up to 10 people are going to be allowed. Not that they ever should have been outlawed in the first place, but is that going to change how you're able to conduct yourself, your ministry? Are you happy with that change?
You know what? For us, it doesn't change what we do. We've been out here last spring, and we thank you, Rebel News, for covering our story last spring and providing a lawyer and helping us out again with 3 more additional tickets. You know, like the officer asked me, do I have a permit? I said, you know what? I have a permit from my Father in heaven, and this is what he's called me to do, and I'm going to continue to do this, you know, in love and peace and obedience, and that's what we're going to do.
All right, well, we'll certainly help you out with those new tickets if you want the help. I presume you do. And if there's anything that you want to say, I guess to Nenshi, because it's his police officers at the end of the day who are issuing these tickets, what do you want to tell him?
I want to tell them that there's a lot of hypocrisy going on, that people can go and skate, you know, about 100 meters away from where we're doing a street church, and we're feeding the homeless, which even that gathering is far smaller than the lineup of people that want to skate. And I'm not upset at people wanting to skate. That's great. I think people go and skate and enjoy that and have some fun because, you know, with these restrictions and lockdowns. But let's be consistent here. And we are an essential service, and we're not doing evil works. We're doing good works, and we're helping this community. We're bringing life and hope and love and peace to this community, and, you know, in Jesus Christ to this neighborhood. And we're going to continue to do that no matter, you know, what the restrictions are or what you say. Like I said, I have my permit from my Father, and we're going to continue to do this.
If you want to help us by funding our legal fund, our legal defense fund for people just like Derek, you can do that at fightthefines.ca. If not, you can just check out all of our coverage. There's a lot there. We're providing lawyers for free for the first 1,000 people who show up to fightthefines.ca with a ticket from some tyrant wherever they are across Canada. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning into Rebel News. Like I said, go to fightthefines.ca, and if you want to help us out with our coverage here in Calgary or anywhere, if you want to help us out with the lawyers that we're providing to so many people, please do so there.